Today I had, this morning, I had another dream that I can remember. This time the dream, I actually knew I was dreaming. I knew that I was in bed, I knew that I was dreaming, and I was taking advantage of it. And this is something that I've tried for about a year now to be able to do. And it was very short-lived. It was only a few minutes. What was interesting about it was the where I was at. Bits and pieces. I remember the dream starting out as I was in some kind of a building, a hotel building. It looked like, and there were a lot of windows evenly spaced out, and it was one floor. I remember that there was a like a receptionist counter or something, and I was standing to the left of it, probably about 10 feet, and my dad was walking by, and I asked him about my grandma, and I believe the question was, where is my grandma, or what's happening to my grandma, or something along those lines. And then it went into, I started walking down the hallway of this hotel, and I got to the end of the hallway, and there was a church. I was inside this church, and all the pews are all lined up, and I'm looking from the side of the church, so all the pews are going away from me, and I look over to my left just a little bit, and I saw my great-grandma sitting there, and she looked very much younger. And when I was a kid, I saw a picture of her when she was younger. That's the only time I've ever actually seen a picture of her. This was a long time ago. And in my mind, I could clear as day see her as young as that picture. She had her glasses on, and didn't have the gray hair or anything else. And what was really weird about it is that she looked at me, and this is when I started realizing that I was aware of my dream. She looked at me, and I thought to myself, this is a perfect opportunity to be able to talk to her in my dream. I'm going to take advantage of this. And I sat down next to her, and I started asking her questions. The odd thing is I don't remember what questions were asked, but I do remember that I was specifically asking questions about my family, my grandma, my grandpa, and things like that. And I was getting answers from her as clear as day. I can remember her voice, but I just don't remember what the questions were. And she had that smile that I knew about. And in my mind, while I was aware that I was dreaming and I was sleeping, in my mind it felt like I was really talking to her. And there very well could be, I know everybody has their own beliefs, religions, whatever. That doesn't matter right now. What mattered to me is at that time I thought I was really having a conversation with her. And it may very well have just been my mind playing tricks on me. I don't know. And, I'm just going to leave it at that. But, so I do remember the very last question. I said, how is Grandma doing? And she said, you're just going to have to find out for yourself. That's the only question to answer that I remember. So I remember I got up out of the church, and I started walking towards where I was before in this motel-looking place. And there my dad was standing there, and I asked him the same question. I said, what's going on with Grandma? Is she going to be okay? Is she getting out? Something like that. And he says, well, why don't you just ask her? And he gave me that look like, you're talking in front of her. And there she was, standing there. She turned and looked at me, and she said, why haven't you called me? And I just kind of stood there for a second. I had that guilty feeling. And she walked away. She walked towards the church, and I could hear what sounded like choir music going. It was very faint. Wasn't much to it at all. And I could see like this bright light coming from that area there. And I started walking towards it. And as soon as I got into the church, I looked around. I didn't see my great-grandma, but I did see my grandma, and she was sitting on her knees at the very front of the church, and she was praying. And I just kind of walked over, and I was about ready to open my mouth and say something, and I stopped myself, and I said, "This is not the time to be remorseful or guilty or something." I mean, I don't remember exactly what I was thinking, but at that point, then I just stopped, and I took a few steps back, and I said, "I think I'm done with this dream right now. I think I'm going to wake up." And that was it. I woke up. I just woke right up out of bed, and I thought to myself, wow, I just had a dream right there, and I knew that I was dreaming, and it was pretty cool. So that leaves me with, and I've been thinking about this all day. It's something that's burned into my head, this whole dream, except for a few bits and pieces. And I've been thinking about the dream all day. And first of all, I just posted a video yesterday about my great-grandma's house. And I'm thinking that started getting me thinking on that track of my great-grandma. And then my grandma, whom I should probably call because I haven't called her in a while to let her know how I'm doing, that guilty feeling that I have, because sometimes I'll be sitting at the computer or whatever, and I'll say, I better call her. And so that was going on. My grandparents' health has been deteriorating over the last few years. My grandpa has cancer. And so I'm having that guilty feeling of, I should probably, get in better contact with them before they're gone. And I don't know what the church deal was, but and my dad, I'm not sure exactly where he came in this whole picture, but that was pretty much it. Really strange dream, and I'm actually glad that I had it because I was actually well aware that I was dreaming. It wasn't an illusion. It was me. I could feel myself laying in bed, and I knew that I was breathing. And I said to myself, this is a perfect opportunity to take advantage of this dream. And I did that by asking very specific questions to my great-grandma. Very specific. I know it was about my family. I know it was about my grandma growing up, my grandpa growing up, things like that. I know that that's what it was, but I just cannot remember the questions and answers except for the last one. So my belief, and anybody can believe whatever they want, but my belief is that I really was talking to her in my dream. Somehow I was communicating with her through a dream. I know people have those experiences all the time. My mom had that experience right after my grandpa on my mom's side had died. She had that exact experience. So I really believe that that's possible. But anyway, that was the dream, and hopefully I have more like those again. I really do.